So there we go, game week 2 of the NFL season is in the books, and already we've got teams that are off to the races with a 2-0 start. But let's talk about it. Are these teams pretenders, or are they for real? First of all, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 2-0 after just beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Now, they only just scraped through that game, but let's be honest, they're for real. They're a Super Bowl team, Super Bowl winning team from last year for good reason. They've got some great players on offense and defense. They did lose a few pieces in the off-season, but they've kept the majority of their star names. Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, obviously AJ Brown on offense. Defense have got some talent as well. And so, yeah, naturally, I do believe they're going to get better as the season progresses. And they're probably going to be the favourites to come out of the NFC and head to the Super Bowl again. So yeah, the Eagles are definitely for real. Next up, let's talk about another team from the NFC, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've just beaten the Texans, and so they're 2-0 now. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of people, a lot of pundits in the sports industry, they do think the Bucs could be challenging for a Super Bowl place this year. And why not? They've got talent all across the board, certainly on offense with Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, the new stud wideout, the rookie, Egbuka. And so I think they're going to be there or thereabouts towards the NFC Championship game at least. They just need to tighten up on defense a little bit, but they're a solid team, definitely for real. Sticking with the NFC for now, I think the LA Rams are also for real. Matthew Stafford, right? If he's healthy, they have got to be a threat to get to the Super Bowl from the NFC. They've got talent, so much talent on the offense. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams with tons of experience. And their defense is solid as well. They do put a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They're young, fast, and they draft well. So I think the LA Rams, as long as they can keep Matthew Stafford healthy and upright, have got to be a team that's for real in the playoffs. And whilst we're at it, we might as well stick with the NFC, the Green Bay Packers. Gosh, I mean, they're definitely for real. There's a bit of a theme here, isn't there? But there's a lot of NFC teams that are good this year, really good. Packers, obviously, signing Micah Parsons in the off-seasons completely changed the game for them. Their defense is buttoned up, and on offense, they're only going to get better. They just need more reps. Jordan Love needs to prove that he can do it in the playoffs, but with reps comes practice, experience. I think they're going to be a great team this year. They've always leaked on defense. I'm a Packers fan, and I know how frustrating it's been seeing Aaron Rodgers have to play with weak defenses. And I think now's the time, right? Jordan Love, step up, do your thing, and let Micah Parsons and that hunt and do their job on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, the Packers are definitely for real this year. Two more teams from the NFC that we need to talk about, the 49ers and the Cardinals, both in the same division. The 49ers, I mean, I'm on the fence with them. Obviously, they've got some talent. They've got Christian McCaffrey. They've beaten some good teams. But I don't think they're for real. I don't. I think they're pretenders. And let me explain why. I just think, even with Brock Purdy at the helm right now, he's injured, but I just don't know if they've got enough. Certainly on defense now as well. They've let a lot of players go. And they've only really got Nick Bosa and Fred Warner to talk about. I just don't think they've got the star power to rival the other teams in the NFC. And so naturally, I think they could be there or thereabout for the playoffs, but they're definitely not for real for the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. So for me, probably just about pretenders, but they can definitely prove me wrong. And as for the Cardinals, no one's really talking about them right now, even though they're 2-0. That tells you a lot about what the sports industry really thinks about this team. And it's a shame because they do have some good players. But Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray, James Conner, they're talented, but they're beating up poor sides at the minute. I think they're just beating the Cardinals. And so I don't think they're going to be a threat. I think they're pretenders. I think they'll fade away as the season progresses. It's a shame, right? Because Murray was once thought to be an absolute stud at quarterback, number one pick for a reason. But for whatever reason it is, it's just not quite worked out for him. I don't think they're a threat for the playoffs. They're in a tough division. And so, yeah, Cardinals will probably fall away, and they are pretenders for me. Moving over to the AFC, one is the Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, I did not think I'd be calling their name at 2-0. And it's been a real surprise, hasn't it, with Daniel Jones at quarterback. They do have a talented roster. No one denies that. They've always been around the 500 mark every year. And so you think with a decent quarterback, they're going to be pushing for the playoffs. But I don't think anyone thought Daniel Jones was that guy. He's been absolutely fantastic. And to be fair, he got the Giants to the playoffs, and look at them now. So we know he's got the ability to carry a team. And right now he's doing it for the Colts. He looks every bit the quarterback that they need. And so I am actually on the fence with this one. I don't know if he is an out-and-out pretender or this team's an out-and-out pretender. I think maybe they could be for real. Time will tell, but they've beaten up good teams at the minute. They beat the Broncos. So I think, I don't know where to fall on this one. Help me out in the comments if you can. But if I had to choose, I'm going to say for real, but only because their division stinks. The Jags aren't doing anything anytime soon. The Titans are irrelevant with their new rookie quarterback. And look, the Texans are 0-2 right now. So division favourites, but it's going to be an uphill climb for them to get back towards playoff contention. Can't just keep losing like they are doing, right? Another team that's 2-0 in the AFC is the Cincinnati Bengals. But this one, absolutely gutted, but they're definitely a pretender this year because they've just lost Joe Burrow, their quarterback, for up to 3 months. He's going in for toe surgery. Absolutely devastating news for the Bengals after just paying their 2 wide receivers big money and bringing Trey Hendrickson back for another year on defense. So, they were all in and it's not paid off. And this is not the first time that Burrow has gone down to a potentially season-ending injury. Now, if you'd asked me this last week, I would have said that the Bengals are for real. They're only going to get better as the season progresses because history's proved that. But the reality is, even if they've buttoned up their defense, without Joe Burrow now because of injury, they're just not going to be a threat. It's highly unlikely. Even with a competent backup quarterback in Browning, they're not going to get in the playoffs for me. There's too much talent in the AFC to compete with. And so, definitely are pretenders now. But absolutely devastating news. I honestly think Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The way that he just stands in the pocket, he's absolutely fearless. It's great, but at the same time, with a poor offensive line, he's just getting battered, isn't he? He's just getting beaten up. And naturally, you're going to pick up injuries like that. Andrew Luck proved it, and so far, Joe Burrow's career is following the same trajectory. So, absolutely devastated for him, for the fans, for the league. But it is what it is. And so, got ourselves another pretender there in the AFC. So there's 2 more teams in the AFC that are also 2-0. One of them is the Buffalo Bills. They're for real. No one's going to doubt the Bills anymore. There was a time when no one believed that they were going to be a threat and they weren't going to make the playoffs in some sports pundits' minds. But Josh Allen, MVP, absolutely carries this team. He's such a talent. And so, I think they're my favourites. They're my Super Bowl pick to make the Super Bowl, like I say. And I just think if they can just get a little bit better on defence, they're going to be unstoppable. And so the last team that is 2-0 in the AFC, that I don't think a lot of people thought, looking at their schedule, they would be 2-0. It's the Chargers. The LA Chargers look a completely different side under Jim Harbaugh. He's completely changed their identity. He's got Justin Herbert slinging it this year after last year's relatively average season at quarterback. He's just unleashed this guy, hasn't he? And everyone thought they were going to be running the ball hard, but no, they've been throwing it. Lots of touchdowns already so far this season. He's probably favourite for MVP right now, and it's just frightening to think that a new head coach can completely change an identity within 12 months like this. So early days, but the Chargers are definitely for real. I'm not going to doubt them. It all starts in the trenches, right? And they are solid on their offensive line, and they're pretty buttoned up as well on the defensive line. So, they beat up the Raiders. 3 interceptions, so they've clearly got playmakers at the back there, cornerback position. So I'm really excited to see what the Chargers can do this year. And obviously it's early days in the season, but so far we've got a lot of teams that are for real, and not all of them can make the Super Bowl. So it'd be really interesting to see how this season pans out. Obviously, injuries can change everything. We only have to look at the Bengals for that. Real shame, but yeah. At the same time, there are clearly pretenders in this league. And when you get off to a hot start like this, it's easy to get on the hype, on the bandwagon, and think they're going to be, making the Super Bowl. It just doesn't happen. Of course, I'm more than happy to be proven wrong and to debate this sort of stuff. So do fire your feedback in the comments. But yeah, this season is already off to an absolute cracker, and I can't wait to see how it pans out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.